right, I think we're on lesson 18 first.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like he did change our group 17 and group 16 scores back to 10.
Oh, good. Yeah, they sent me an email. Be expeditious next time on your post. So.
Yeah. Oh, is that all they said?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we haven't missed one yet.
No.
No big deal.
I think that might have been our freebie.
Our saving grace, yeah. All right, ready? You want me to start?
Yeah.
All right. Use the following data summary to answer questions 4 through 6. There was a recent survey taken on whether consumers are label users who pay attention to the label details when buying clothes. Are men and women equally likely to be label users? Determine if the proportion of men who use labels are different than the proportion of women who use labels, with the significance of alpha equals 0.05. Check all the requirements. So you have to check requirements for all 4 sections, and they all are over 10.
Right.
So we got 63, 27, 233, and 224. So have you guys been noticing that X is always like that number?
What do you mean?
Well, if you because it's a proportion, if you divide by a number by the other one and then times it by that, it's going to come out to, so like 296 times the proportion of 63 divided by 296 is going to be 63. Does that make sense?
So 296 times the proportion of.
So yeah, it's n times p, right? For one of the
Yeah, n times p.
Yeah.
But in order to find p, it's x over n.
Right. So you're always going to have x as long as x is above 10, that you don't even have to do that calculation.
I thought there was, yeah.
Or could there? I guess there could be a spot where it would be less than 10.
If it's close, like if it's like 16 or 12, you might
do it just in case.
Yeah, like point. Yeah. Like if it's below or pretty close to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using women as 1 and men as 2?
That's the way I did it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, so should I do B, I guess?
Sure.
The null hypothesis is they would be equal, or yes, that the proportion of men that use labels and the proportion of women that use labels is equal. The alternative is not equal, because it's not greater than or less than, it's just not equal.
Right. I mean, I've got P1 equals P2, and then P1's not equal to P2.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the same thing. I'm sorry. And then did anybody try to compute the statistic by hand, or did you just plug it in?
Just plug it into Excel.
Okay, I did too.
Yeah, I wrote down all the formulas if I have to do it by hand, but no. When they say we can use Excel for the exams, it's going to be used.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Hey George, how's it going?
Good, good.
You know, that's another thing that I got confused on. Sorry to take you guys back, but on that 17 homework, I kept on getting mixed up where it said, P hat and P, because half the time it was saying that P hat was equal to P, and then I never knew which one to plug in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just hoping that I'm not the only one having that problem.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was not a good one.
No, it's horrible.
So
All right, so compute the test statistic. 3.309 is what I got on mine.
yeah.
Okay.
I just have a quick question while we're on that one of the test statistics, because when I tried to compute it on mine, it gave me like an error. Let me pull up my calculator very quickly.
Oh, I wonder, did you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just noticed that I didn't change my type of test, and so it didn't change the z value or the test statistics, but it changed my p value.
Yeah, I was using the formula that was given, the one of p hat minus p equals to the square root of p times 1 minus p divided by n. But it kept giving me like an error each time. Oh, did you guys use the Excel file?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were using.
Okay, I guess that's what I should have used. Okay, never mind then.
In the reading, I went ahead and did the exercise because it said to make sure you can do it with your calculator before you go on, and so I did it there. But man, a lot of work.
Yeah, you follow the step by step, and then I did it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That's the thing. It tells you not to round until the very last one, but if you're doing, like 5 different calculations, how do you not round?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like write it. I usually copy and paste the values.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
you
if I'm-
usually, you
'cause
usually do it on Excel?
Well, no. If you're doing it on the computer and you just
Mhm.
use the regular calculator, I'm in Windows. If you use the calculator app, you can copy the numbers from the calculator and put them in a different place.
Oh,
I
okay. I
usually
see.
put them in like a text file that I'm working in or something.
Oh, you just have like an open Word file, so you can just.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotcha.
And then throw the numbers over there and then plug them back in as I need them.
Man, I'm doing old school. I've got my calculator going. I'm like, I don't know if I can. You can.
You're not the only one. I've got mine too.
You can do it on here. I just don't know how.
I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know if that's gonna work. That's not gonna work. Maybe if I go like this. I got.
Wow.
It's yeah. I've got my screens divided twice and the calculator app open with.
Oh, I gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Way too high tech for me, Wes.
You gotta have the. I got it originally for programming because
Yeah.
it's nice to have an additional screen, but it works pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, and they can't see me. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so what are we on now?
E.
E.
The
Shade
P
your
value and
p-value.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the answer sheet.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even see it.
Half a pencil lead.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see, we're on F now. What decision do you make about the null hypothesis? You would reject the null hypothesis, right?
Mm-hmm. Because the P is below A.
Yeah.
And then moving on to G, state your conclusion in layman's term. We have sufficient evidence to say that there's a difference in the proportions of men who use labels and women who use labels.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 5 is construct a 95% 98% confidence interval for the difference of the two proportions in 4.
And again, you can do that by hand, but it gives you the confidence interval on the
Right.
Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
That's what I used.
On the two proportions, yeah.
0.045 and 0.166.
That's what I got. And then it says interpret the confidence interval. And that means that there is a distinct difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not including the 0.
Well, the answer sheet says we are 95% confident that the true difference in the proportions of men being label users and women being label users is between 0.045 and 0.116.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it a little backwards.
Those questions always get me in the test.
The wording of that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you got to kind of go back to the question in the paragraph, and you kind of just have to use that wording and say. I mean, same with the conclusions in layman's terms, because there's sufficient evidence that men and women are not equally likely to use label or be label users, and they have it like broken down into each, but I don't know. It's a little different coming up with how they want it worded.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I think on that last one though, I think they want the 95% confident, and then the difference in proportion, and then whatever variables you're using, and then the because on the test they usually put like there's one that always says like 95% chance, and there's another one that says 95% something, and then there's another one that usually says like 95% of
Right. Yeah.
the 95%, and that's correct because I looked that up in the book back when we had that.
Yeah.
It has 95% of 95% samples are going to be in that, and that's usually the correct answer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Even in the exam prep video, the TA mentioned like which two are most likely to be correct and which two will never be correct. Yeah. It's in the PowerPoint.
I think I remember seeing that.
All right, quiz. Let's do this.
Okay.
So last week, right after the recording, I was looking at the video and it said it was only 35 minutes long. And then when I went to post it at the end of the week, it was an hour and like 45 minutes long. So I'm not sure how that. Yeah, I don't know how it changed. But like right after I uploaded it, it was only 35 minutes long.
I was going to say we were on there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I messaged everyone about it. At least I thought I had. Maybe that was the week before.
Oh, we're tasting paper. So,
Oh, geez.
Again?
yeah. For the next 9 questions, we will review the PTC testing study with different data. Out of 70 females in the sample, 52 can taste PTC. Out of 59 males in the sample, 42 can taste. All right. So they gave us a table.
Yeah, so X is use data to find P1.
So
be the proportion of females who can taste. Who can?
So X would be the yes.
Yeah. So it's 52 out of 70 for one, right?
Yep.
yeah.
52 out of 70 for one, and 42 out of 59 for two.
Okay. 52 out of 70, that's 0.743.
P1. P hat 1 is 0.743.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys have 95% confidence level, and then do you have a not equal to?
That's what I have.
Yeah.
And then P hat 2 is 0.0788 is what I'm coming up with, but you'd round that to 0.079.
Oh, the standard deviation?
No,
No,
that's
P hat
the
2.
P2.
Question 4.
Oh, P hat 2 is point.
0.079. Well, it's 0.788, but you round it up to 0.079.
Wait, what did you use for that? Do you use 42 over 59?
I used 42 over 59, yeah.
So I
did you get 0.7118, 0.712?
have 0.712.
Oh, really?
For P hat 2.
Yeah.
Interesting. 42 over 59. Yeah. Oh, 0.712. Yep, I'm looking at the stamp. Sorry.
So
I was looking at the wrong box. So you can still get it wrong.
So P hat 1 is 0.743.
P hat 2 is
P hat 2.
0.712.
No, wank it.
So isn't, let's see, P equal 1.
So is it A, question 5?
Yes.
Hypotheses. Sorry.
Hypotheses.
Let's see.
Create a 95% interval for P1 to P2 and put your answers at the point. What is the point estimate? The point estimate is the z-score, right?
Let me double check. I have it up, I think.
How? Do I let that?
Point estimate of P is...
All right, I'm falling behind. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it the point estimate P hat equals to P? Isn't it that one?
No, I thought that was the mean.
Oh, that's
P
a
hat
mean.
equal P.
Oh, that makes a difference. Okay.
Point estimate from the lesson 17 recap is saying it's Z.
It's the z-score.
Well, it's Z over 2M squared.
But that's
Is that for the? Does that not
Oh,
apply?
that's the prior estimate of P.
Oh, that's if there's no prior estimate, yeah.
If there's no prior estimate, but we're looking for point estimate though, right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
No, you're
Oh,
okay.
you're good.
Point
see.
estimate.
Estimate.
Isn't not the P hat X over N? Because it says the estimator of P is P hat equals to X over N, and it's used for both confidence intervals and hypothesis testing.
I think you're right. I think it's P hat.
That'll be the X over N.
For this.
So for
It's
P1
finding-
minus
I
minus
think
the
you're
1 for
finding it
P2,
for
right?
both, right? It's for
Yep. And then we're going to subtract the 2. So I guess our N is going to be, for P1, our N is going to be 70. Oh, and our X is going to be 52, right, for P1?
Yeah, I think you add x1 and x2,
Yeah.
and then add n1 and n2, and then divide x1 and x2 by n1 and n2. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And then what do you get?
So I got, it's 52 plus 42 divided by,
70 plus
So
59.
where do you, what answer? I'm totally lost here now. I was trying to find something.
6.
So 6.
Yeah. 4,
The point estimator.
29.
4, 7, 9.
So the test statistic is a z-score. That's the p hat 1 minus p hat 2 minus the p1 minus p2 divided by the square root of p minus. Is that what you guys are doing?
No.
No, there's a different formula. If you look in the recap of
Less than
18,
70. Oh, 18. Okay.
Of 18.
Of 18.
Okay.
It's the sample proportion for group 1. Well, no, it's the for a hypothesis test
I think
overall sample proportion.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was looking at.
I believe actually that it would be p hat 1 minus p hat 2.
Yeah, that's what I did on my end, and I got 0.031.
For the point estimator.
Yeah, that's what I got. I just did it like as like P1 minus P2. You know, like X over N for P1 minus X over N for P2.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So if we, so that's, yeah, 31.031.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I don't see anywhere where it specifically says the point estimated.
Point estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one on, yeah, they just said the estimator of P, not necessarily point estimator on lesson 17. But I think that sounds about right. I don't know.
The estimator of P is
Yeah,
P.
mm-hmm.
We'll find out when we
I guess so.
when we put it in the middle, because will it be equal distance between the high and low of the confidence interval?
I don't know if it would. It just gives you the difference. Well, I guess that's what they're doing anyways, right? Because you're comparing the difference between the two.
Yep. Is everybody okay with question 6?
Okay. Yeah. It is the middle point.
Estimator of P.
So
I think
how did you guys figure it then?
p hat 1 minus p hat 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
meaning, yeah, X over N for P1 minus X over N for P2.
So 0.743 minus 0.712, and we got 0.031.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point estimator.
Mm-hmm.
The point estimate.
So,
okay.
Yeah, and so now for question 7, we need the margin of error for the 95% interval. And we know that the 95% interval is a 1.960. Is this one the 1.960 times the standard deviation?
I believe it's.
The margin of error for the 95% confidence interval, wouldn't that be?
The margin of error is
It's not the same thing as the standard deviation of the confidence level, is it?
no. I think
Oh,
Thane had a way to do it last time where it was like you take the upper
The upper,
confidence
the
level,
lower.
upper minus the lower.
Divided by 2.
0.085 minus 0.123. That gives us,
Needs to be negative though.
negative 0.185 minus negative 0.123 gives us a 0.308.
wait
And then,
for,
and then we
wait for a
divide that by
second.
2, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get the 0.185? Is that in the Excel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Excel spreadsheet, confidence interval at the bottom there.
Did you use the one for 2 proportions?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Divided by 2.
I got
Yeah.
0.154.
Oh, that's what I got as well.
0.154.
But otherwise, you have to.
Don't you take the standard deviation and times it by the 95 percentile z-score?
Yeah.
And
Wait,
then
but-
that,
Mm-hmm.
and then don't you like, is it square root type? Don't you have to do something else to it?
Yeah. So it's
Square rooted or squared?
Z. The what is that term? The z-score of your the 95th percentile, so 1.96 times the square root of p hat 1 times 1 minus p hat 1 over n1 plus p hat 2 times 1 minus p hat 2 over
Oh yeah, that's
Hang on.
in that's
That's
in the lesson
the
16
formula.
recap.
That's in the lesson 16 recap.
Yes.
Well, that formula was just given
Oh,
in here.
Just a quick question. On the Excel file, what did you guys get for the confidence interval?
Negative 0.123 and 0.185.
No, I'm getting different values. So you're using the 2 proportion one, right?
Yes.
So on X1, do you have 52?
Yes.
And then 70 on N1?
70.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then 42, 79?
no.
What do you have for X2 then?
42,
42.
And then 79 for the N2.
No, n2 is
59.
59.
59. Oh, okay. Then that makes sense. Oh, okay. Now I have some videos with you guys.
There you go.
All right.
And then the lower bound.
Negative 123, right?
That's what I got. Yep, negative 0.123. And then that was 8. And then 9 is 0.185.
8 is 0.185, right?
Yes. No.
Yes.
Wait, 8? No, I got negative 0.123.
80 point. Okay.
Is your type of test not equal?
It is. My bad. I got it confused.
Okay.
Oh, what did we get for the margin of error? I'm confused now.
I put down 0.154.
Yeah.
0.154. Okay, how do we get the 0.154? I'm sorry if I'm taking you guys backwards.
It's okay.
That is the upper bound minus, minus, because it's a plus. You're finding the difference between the upper and lower bound and then dividing it by 2.
By 2?
Right.
Okay. Negative 0.154?
I just got 154.
Positive.
It should
Positive.
be positive.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. So, do you take the higher minus the lower?
Yes,
Yeah.
but that's why I did the little quotation marks, because it's minus. It's it's really plus in this case. You're finding the difference, the distance between the two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 0.154. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
8
we
and 9.
failed to reject.
Right. I believe so. Where are we at? P.
Wait, failed to reject HO?
Yes.
Okay, not HA. Okay.
Nope.
Just want to clarify.
Okay, there is insufficient evidence to suggest that the true proportion of females who can taste PTC is less than.
The true proportion.
So it's not going to be
Okay.
less than or greater than, so it's going to be either C or D. It's going to be D.
Yeah, because it has to be there's insufficient.
Insufficient evidence to suggest that the true proportion of females who can taste PTC is different from the true proportion of males who can taste PTC. So
Now this is one of those that always throw me off. The one about the sufficient or insufficient. Do we do the insufficient when we fail to reject?
Correct.
yes.
So if you have sufficient evidence, that means you reject the null. That means your alternative hypothesis has evidence to support it. And then your,
Gotcha.
I thought, isn't the verbiage supposed to always be in relation to the alternative hypothesis?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what the
So
TA
it should-
said in his PowerPoint.
Yeah, so there's
Okay.
insufficient evidence to suggest that the true proportion of females who can taste PTC is different from the true proportion of males who can taste.
Okay.
And
Makes
we can
sense.
kind of infer that from what we found on the confidence interval because zero's contained in there.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh dear. Okay.
For 12. For the next 9 questions, we will review the mortality rates and day of admission heart attacks study with different data out of a lot of people who had heart attack a weekday. 16,713 had died. Out of 42,447 that had a heart attack on the weekend, 6,155 had died. Please use the data presented here. Let P1 be the proportion of the patients who had heart attack and were admitted on a weekday. So weekday is group 1. And that is X is equal to 16713. And total, which is N, is 118519. And then for group 2, 6155 is X. And 42447 is the N value.
And we keeping 95% on that one?
I believe so.
Yes. Okay.
Let's see. So let proportion 2 be the patients who had a heart attack on the weekend. The research question for this study is given here. The proportion of patients who have a heart attack are admitted to the hospital on a weekday who die less than the proportion of patients who have a heart attack and are admitted on the hospital on the weekend who die. Use a significance level of alpha 0.05. So we need to check the conditions, which are, you have to take X divided by, oh yeah, that's not even close. They're greater. It has to be greater than 10, right?
Yeah. And they're a lot greater than 10.
Very much greater than 10. So yes, the requirements are satisfied.
Wait. Did you say X over N, or is the P times 1 minus P?
It's both. You have to check X over N. No, it's P times.
It's N times P.
N times P, and then N times 1 minus
P.
Okay.
Both of those have to be greater than 10,
They're all.
and they are.
Okay, n times 1 minus p. So for the p, do you use the 1.960?
For the P, you're using the
No, you'd have to.
proportion. You're using P
You'd
hat.
have to go
P hat x over n.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. So P hat.
But you're not using p hat for the requirements though, right? Or are you using p hat because it's the hypothesis test?
Because I'm just getting a little bit confused. Like, okay, I understand that the n is the 118519, for example, for the first one. But then I'm just saying for the p, for the proportion, do we do the x over n to find the proportion?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
so
basically the p hat.
Right. Yeah. So it's your P hat. It's your N times P hat, which is 118,519.
Your n times your p hat.
Yeah. Times 0.141. And those values, it gives you those values in Excel.
So, okay, sorry.
The
So
check
n times
requirement box.
n times pn, that would be like 118,519, which is the n, right? Times x over n. 16713 over 118,519. That would give us 16,713.
Correct. Which is, I mean, if
Okay.
you're using the Excel file, it's in there's a check requirements box right next to the inputs, and it gives you those equations for the first sample and second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Yeah, first sample, second sample. Gotcha. Yep. Okay. Got it.
So
Thanks.
the question is, let me just fix it. People who admitted on the hospital during the weekday, P1, is less than the people who die on the weekend, right?
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. So it should be
So
less.
12
That
is
changes the
what?
p-value.
12 is true.
Uh-huh.
So the hypothesis is P1 equals P2 and HA is P1 is less than P2?
Yeah, the last one.
D?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting catch up here. Use the do that.
Are you good?
And table to find P1.
So
That's-
0.141.
Mm-hmm. And for P2, which is question 15, is 0.145.
Z-score is negative 2.020.
And that's what I got.
Come on, take.
You got negative 2.020.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh,
Oh, this makes life to be so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, mosquito. I missed it.
0.141 for 14.
Yeah, 141. 0.141.
Uh-huh.
And then 15 is 0.145.
Okay, yeah.
Darn kids leaving the doors open. I got a bunch of bugs in my house.
And then 16 is negative 2.020.
2 point. What was that
Yeah.
again?
That's what I got. The z-score
Yeah.
is negative 2.020. And that's in the Excel.
And because we're going less than, this would be
To the left.
to the left, right?
Yep, to the left.
What is the p-value for this test?
0.043.
4.3.
You guys got 4.3.
Yep.
0.043.
What did you get?
P1 is greater than?
Oh,
Or
hold on.
P1 is less than 2.
Hold on. Less than. P1 is less than 2. So p-value is 0.022.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
Wait, I got
Okay.
0.043 for the p-value.
So if you go to the type of test, George, in your Excel sheet, you have to put P1 is less than P2.
In
Oh, the
input.
alternative. Okay, gotcha. Okay, 0.022.
Yep.
And that'll change that.
Where's your typing?
So the decision we failed to reject, right?
Yep. No, we reject.
No, we reject it because it's less than 0.05.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So there is enough evidence to suggest that the difference in people who admitted on the weekends die more.
So there is sufficient evidence to conclude that the proportion.
So if you have a heart attack, don't do it on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's between C and D. So it's C, right?
In question 20.
Yeah.
Let's see. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the proportion of patients who have a heart attack and are admitted to the hospital on a weekday who die is less than the proportion of patients who have a heart attack and are admitted to a hospital on the weekend who die. I think that is correct.
No.
No?
That's the null.
That's the null. So there is sufficient evidence who would die.
No, would be equal.
No. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
They're the same. Because we rejected the null hypothesis.
So it's one of the last two. It's C or D, and it says the proportion of patients who have a heart attack are admitted to the hospital.
I think it's not C.
Is the same as no. Yep, it's C. Because there is sufficient evidence to conclude you're going to be looking at
that we support the alternative.
Yeah, on a weekday who die is less than the proportion. So that's the part you're looking at is less than as opposed to is the same as.
Oh, okay. So the same as would be supporting the null.
Null.
Yeah.
Right, and we're rejecting the null. So there is sufficient evidence to conclude that the people who die during the week are less than those who die during the weekend, which is C.
Okay.
Okay.
We got all of them right.
Woot. One day.
Wish we could do this on the homework.
Yeah.
What got me on the homework was there's like 3 questions at the end of the homework quiz for 18 that ask you to identify which test type you're supposed to use given like the situation. So they're like they want to determine this value compared to this value. What test would you use? And then you like have to pick it, and it's got
is that on 18?
Mm-hmm.
They've
already begun.
Are you overachieving on us, Wes?
A
little bit.
I just want to see how, because I usually take the first attempt at the beginning of the week to know what I need to work on.
Oh, I gotcha. And then do it again.
And then I'll do it again, and I can learn what I missed.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Because you get 2 attempts. So.
Yeah, I know. I use 2 of them every time. All right. So
I got 100% on 19 though.
Oh, on the homework?
Yeah.
Was the homework not bad on 19?
It was easier than 18.
Yeah.
At least I thought it was.
No, I don't. You probably just put it all in Excel and just read it there, because.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go on to number 9.
Let's see, we've been going for just under an hour.
Man, we need to speed this up a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Would that been?
So, have we heard back from the instructor on?
Yeah, so actually, if you go into your My Grades, it says that he, if you go all the way to the bottom where it has the design and study, He says, "Hi, this looks good. Approved, Brother Greenlaw."
Oh, cool. Sounds good. So we can
We can
Buy some oranges.
proceed.
buy some oranges.
Naval oranges.
Yes, specifics.
I'm almost tempted to go in like homeless looking and start like just looking crazy and just lighting up oranges and like rolling the dice on the floor and jumping up. Come on, yeah.
These are the oranges I would like to buy.
That's kind of mean though. Funny, but
This produce is crap.
yeah, this produce isn't random.
Yeah.
It's haphazard.
Some orange art, some citrus. Picasso. Let's see. Group collaboration. All right. So we're doing the individual preparation portion of 19. Alrighty then.
Oh, that's why. Because we're doing this in chi-square, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna be using chi-squared.
Yeah, but the pronunciation says it should be Chi.
Hi, yeah, you're right.
On
Chi.
the Excel, it's CHI, which would be Chai. So
In the reading it says,
According to Starbucks, anyways.
yeah. In the reading it says something about the pronunciation.
yeah,
It
K-I
is,
as in kite.
yeah. The letter X is a Greek letter that means chi, or as in kite. The symbol should be pronounced chi squared, even though that to me is chi, because like Tai Chi.
Oh,
I don't know. Anyway,
darn
Greeks,
English.
I know Greeks and Chinese and all different stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let me finish putting in my input here real quick, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing the same.
So we got 250 and 50, and on column 2 we got 120 and 80. Bam. All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ambitious intro to stats. Students wanted to conduct a survey among church members, ask them about their party affiliation and whether or not they were in favor of Proposition 8. They would like to see if there is an association between party affiliation and voting preference for Proposition 8, with a level of significance of alpha equaling 0.05. State the null and alternative hypothesis. So the null hypothesis would be party affiliation and whether they favor or not Proposition 8 are independent. And the alternative hypothesis is party affiliation and whether they favor Proposition 8 or not are not independent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
So what are the requirements for this test? All expected values have to be over 5.
Yeah,
And
'cause it's 5 now.
has to be a random sample.
Right.
Random sample.
And they are met for this.
Yes.
Now, going to that one of qualifications, if they're met, how do you determine on this one?
It has to be over 5 per cell, isn't it? Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
and then random sample?
Yeah.
it has to be a random sample.
So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen real quick,
Okay.
and I'll show you. So here where it says expected,
Yeah.
It tells you right here.
Oh, so look at the expected. Okay.
So all of the cells have to have more than 5 in this section right here.
All the expected. Okay.
So it tells you, 220, 148, 78, and 52.
Okay.
And if you have more columns and more, then all of those have to. I know I cheated and watched the TA explain that because I was wondering how that happened too. Because I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. How do you know what the expected value would be?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just there. It's given.
And he says, yeah, he said there's like a calculation, but for our purposes, Excel tells you.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving to D, calculate X2 chi square statistics or chi square statistics, whatever.
And that's given to you as well.
Yeah.
The X2 to the 5.297.
No, you go up higher where it says chi-square test statistic.
Oh, the test statistics. Okay, that's the X. Okay.
Yeah, it's the X. It's the 33.957. Yeah, 957.
Oh, okay, the statistics. Gotcha.
All right, on the determine the degrees of freedom for this test, it's given in the
Yeah, it's 1.
But isn't it n minus 1?
So the way the TA explained it is it's the number of columns minus 1 times the number of rows minus 1.
So 1 times 1.
Yeah, so 1 times 1 in this case, but if you had 3 columns, it would be 2, and 3 columns, it would be 2, so that would be 4.
Yeah.
If you have a third column.
Wait. You see the TA said you take what and you multiply by what?
It's the D. Yeah, sorry, I'll let you do it because you did it better.
It's rows, however many rows,
Uh-huh.
minus 1 times how many columns minus 1.
Oh, that's interesting.
So since we have 2 columns, 2 minus 1 is 1, and we have 2 rows, which is 2 minus 1 is 1. So you have 1 times 1 is 1. Is 1. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
But so if you had, George, if you have 3 columns, then you'd go 3 minus 1 would be 2. 3 minus 1 would be 2. So 2 times 2 would be 4. So for 3 columns and 3 rows, it would be a degree of freedom of 4.
4, gotcha. That makes sense now. Thanks.
It's the only thing I learned this week. No,
So, and then F, what is the p-value? And that's given 0.000.
Correct.
Yeah. So you reject the null.
Yep.
Because that's lower than the level of significance. And then that would be like we have sufficient evidence, and then the null hypothesis.
Right. The party affiliation and views on Proposition 8 are not independent.
So there is a dependency on,
See, that's what I mean, and that's what I kind of don't get. If it's
why don't they just say the opinion of Prop 8 is dependent on your party?
Right, because it's not necessarily dependent, but they're not completely independent.
Yeah.
That
was an interesting section.
Would confuse me even more.
So just because they're not independent doesn't mean necessarily that
they are, right.
And it's like
that must be a higher level of statistics when they get into defining what dependent is and what independent is. Oh boy, can't wait for that.
It sounds like I had a buddy doing neuroscience, and he says each semester he'd learn something, and then the next semester they'd be like, yeah, we just told you that so you would stop asking questions and just learn that level of stuff. Here's the next level that describes why we told you that. And so that's not true. This is
Yeah.
true. And then you'd say you go to the next class. You go to the next class, and they do the same thing. So what they said in that class was just to
pacify you, because now you're going to learn
Yeah.
about this.
now you're gonna learn about this. And so all that you learned was not all of it, but like a portion of what you learned was not true. This is in place of what you learned.
Right.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. So
It's
yeah, it's this,
probably like that.
same kind of deal.
Probably like that central limit theorem. When you get into the next class, you're going to be like, you know how we said 30 was that? Well, that's not really the case. You're going to learn how to calculate what a real
What's the real central limit theorem
central
is.
limit theorem is.
Yeah, that's probably the thing.
Oh, man.
Good thing I'm a programmer and don't have to do that kind of stuff. You just Google it.
Oh, man. No kidding.
Oh, it looks like someone else answered this question for me. Alrighty.
19.
Visit the chiropractor.
This is
Saying.
Oh, that was a dumb one.
All right, so now we're on the quiz, right?
We are on the quiz. We are on the quiz. Every time I have to start a quiz, I have to make my screen smaller with the control minus.
So you can read it?
Yeah. So it'll come up with the little button that's to start the quiz.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's off the screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I have to make my screen larger so I can read the stuff.
I want to say, didn't Thane have that same problem?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You guys ready?
I think so.
Chiropractic.
So Europe is column what? Wait, are we using that? Not yet.
Not yet.
We're not using that yet.
Another table first.
Oh, we're not using the chiropractor one yet?
No,
Any questions?
they gave us another table
Oh.
here.
Yeah.
Public opinion poll surveyed a simple random sample of 1,000 voters. Respondents were classified by gender, female or male. Okay. And by voting preference, Republican, Democrat, or Independent. The results are presented here.
Do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences?
Okay.
Bam.
So do men's. So gender and voting preferences are not independent. Are independent is what the null would be. Gender and voting preferences are independent, and gender and voting preferences are not independent. I think it's D, or no, C. Sorry.
C. Yeah.
C. I concur.
Oh. Here's your.
There comes your explanation,
Yeah.
Brenton.
Yeah.
The DF, first one. No. Sorry, last one.
Yeah. Last one.
Minus.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, minus. Oh, they're trying to get tricky on us now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So for the degrees of freedom, it's 3.
Yes. No, 2.
It should be 4.
4.
But then in Excel.
Wait.
It would be 2.
Number of rows minus 1, so that's 1, times number of columns, which is 3.
Minus 2. So 2 minus 1. Hey, wait a minute. Don't we have an Excel spreadsheet that'll tell us this?
Yeah. When I put them in Excel, I'm getting like 3 as the figure.
Wait, did you do a total? Did you include the total?
No, you don't have to put
the
total.
No, I'm getting 2.
Yeah, 2 is what I got.
250 and 200. Oh, wait a minute. So men's voting preferences. Oh, yeah, so we put in both, right? So 250 and 200.
Yeah, which makes sense because it's going to be 2 times 1, so it's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Higher than that. 60, 27, 180, and 40. Yes.
Yeah, so requirements are met because all of the expected is greater than 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all the expected cells counts are greater. No, wait, greater.
Yes, there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. Is it the one?
No, wait.
Oh, the expected are greater than 30. Okay.
Yeah. It should be A.
Yeah.
Oh, there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. Oh, okay. Okay.
So
The statistics that is the 16.204.
That's what I got. Do you know how to use an Excel file?
Huh? Now I know.
The p-value
P-value.
0.0003.
0.000.
Yeah,
But-
3 0. So it's rounded. So you have to. It's just 0 0 0.
Yeah.
So that would be sufficient evidence to suggest that the gender and voting preferences are not independent.
Yes.
A.
A.
That saved you some reading.
Yep.
Okay. What?
This one's got a lot more data.
No, it does.
Let's take a moment of silence and put this in.
Yep. 62, 84, 85.
Oh, this is the chiropractor data.
Yeah, I don't know which way would be easier, writing down what they have or try and copy and paste.
64, 82, and 111.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not very conducive to that, is it?
No.
Well, I guess so if you copy and paste vertical to horizontal.
Yeah.
Which is possible. I just don't remember how to do that.
I just put them in individually.
Yeah, it's about as fast as Googling it.
Yep. And I'm done. So
Okay. Conditions for the chi-square test for independence are satisfied. That is correct.
the DF is 10.
Okay.
2 times.
No, degrees of freedom is 8.
Yeah, 2
It's
times
8?
4.
I'm getting. Oh, maybe is there a total?
No,
Yeah,
you don't put the
Oh, there is a total. Oh, I don't have to put the total. Oh, I need to be very careful about that on the exam.
Yeah.
Darn total row.
Yep.
Yeah, that will skew everything.
Oh yeah.
If you total in there.
And then did everybody get 7.436 for the test statistic?
That's what I had. And then the p-value 0.490.
0.490.
This one went by fast, huh? This is how the quiz is. When you fill out your Excel sheet and you're like, oh, all right, got all the answers.
Yeah. I was really glad when he said we get to use them all when we're taking exams and everything because it does so many calculations.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is sufficient evidence.
There's what? Sorry?
Sufficient. Because it's
No,
insufficient.
no. Insufficient because we failed to reject because the
Right.
P's above.
And do people in Europe, Australia, and the United States seek chiropractic care for the same reasons?
So
And
there's
so there is insufficient to suggest that motivation to visit a chiropractor is not independent, right?
No, that would
no,
we
yeah.
failed to. Yeah.
There's insufficient
evidence
evidence
to suggest motivation to visit a chiropractor is not independent of the location. So
Yeah, that's it.
So B,
Yeah.
because there's the A is a sufficient evidence, which we don't have. B, C is sufficient evidence, and D is something about United States go more than the other countries, and that's not what the question is.
Right.
Yeah, and well, A is the wrong question too because it says self-care.
Oh, self-care, yeah.
So
Yeah.
All right.
We got 100%.
Woohoo! Good team.
Nice. Let me make sure I didn't fat finger something.
yeah,
All right. I inputted correctly. Yay.
Well,
All right.
are we meeting Thursday to go over the experiment? Should we have already done it by then?
We don't have to turn that in this week, do we?
yeah, it's next week that we have to turn it in. But
You want to go over it Thursday, or do you want to just do it? Let's see. What is the actual assignment? Begin working on collect the data. So that's actually like getting the oranges using the method we described, and then cutting them to where you can see the slices in the middle, and then recording the data.
yeah, so
Should we create an Excel file or something? Like a shared Excel file, or should we just share it next time we meet?
so it's just a Word document that we fill in.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So
Attach the pooled data you collected. Please include labels, any explanation needed. How did you handle it? Was there a situation you had not anticipated? Use complete sentences. Okay, so it's just pretty much describing. It's doing what we talked about last week and recording the information about it.
Yeah.
So, how many oranges did we decide?
8.
Was it 8?
I think it was 8.
8, yeah, 8 each.
Just enough to satisfy this.
Are we already doing another exam next week?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have 2 exams in the next 4 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Next 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Oh yeah, we're on week.
We take an exam, and then it's 2 weeks of section 4, and then another exam.
Man, it's not fair.
Oh my goodness, do we ever rest?
It just picks up.
Yeah, we do from the middle of July to the 1st of September.
That's funny.
Unless you're enrolled in summer classes.
Yeah, unless you're dumb enough to roll in summer classes.
Thank goodness I don't have that.
Or smart enough. Did you enroll in some summer classes, Wes?
I have to.
Yeah.
Because I only take 3 classes per semester, and if I want to get my degree anytime soon, I have to do summer classes. Or else I'll be like, yeah, I've been working on my bachelor's degree for 6 years now, and
hey, don't laugh. I have been working for my degree for 6 years, but I'm only taking 6 credit hours a semester, so
yeah,
I'm only taking 2 classes a semester because I can't.
It sucks taking.
Yeah.
It sucks. I have 3 classes a semester, and it sucks. There's like
I tried 3 classes one semester, and I was just like, no way. Especially, well, since I got the lead job out at my work, there's no chance I could do.
I'm sorry, I can't work overtime. I have schoolwork.
Right.
Doesn't quite work out. Yeah, my job
So-
gets a little prickly about that too. But
Yeah.
So did you say what meeting on Thursday?
I don't think we need to.
no, let's just talk. So we'll do our part of the exam. I mean, our part of the collection, either at the beginning of next week, end of this week, and then we'll discuss it Tuesday.
Okay,
It works for me.
sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a good weekend.
Thanks.
You
You
too.
too. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.